ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
Starting tomorrow, San Diegans 50 years and older will be eligible to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. In 2 weeks, eligibility expands to everyone 16 and older. But as our ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala explains, some healthcare systems worry there won't be enough vaccine to accommodate everyone.
All Californians 50 and older will be eligible to get a COVID-19 vaccine starting Thursday, April 1st. Kaiser, Scripps, Sharp, and Palomar Health all tell ABC 10 News they are prepared for this next phase. But of course, appointments are only available when they actually have enough doses to give.
We're prepared in the sense of we're ready to go. We just don't have the vaccines yet. So for this week, we only got 10,000 doses. That's not enough to cover people 50 and older.
Dr. Ghazala Sharif is the chief medical officer of acute care for Scripps Health, which is running the superstation in Del Mar. It's had to shut down multiple times, including this week, due to a shortage of vaccines.
We've been told that we're getting less doses at Del Mar because of the zip code it's in. Actually, I just asked the county today, can you give us any indication of what we might expect for next week? And we don't know yet.
Sharif says they typically get little notice, making planning ahead difficult.
So we're told Thursday or Friday what we might get. We don't even get them physically into our hands till Monday or Tuesday.
The county did just open new vaccination sites in areas heavily impacted by the coronavirus. The Health and Human Services Agency says the county's expecting about a 23% increase in vaccine supply this week. On April 15th, eligibility expands again to anyone 16 and older. As of Tuesday, about 560,000 San Diegans, or roughly 20%, have been fully vaccinated, and more than 921,000 residents have received at least one dose of the two-dose vaccines. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
Legoland finally reopens tomorrow for the first time in 13 months. For the next 2 weeks, it will only be open to annual pass holders and hotel guests. Legoland will open for everyone else on April 15th. And since we're in the red tier, it's limited to just 15% capacity. Magic Mountain is also reopening tomorrow. Universal Studios opens April 16th to the general public, and Disneyland opens April 30th. SeaWorld is open, but only operating as a zoo.
The county reported 290 new cases today, bringing our total to just over 270,000. The county didn't update any other COVID numbers today in observance of the Cesar Chavez holiday. You can stay on top of any new developments with coronavirus by downloading the 10 News app. A free version is available in the App Store.
For a day of record heat in San Diego County. There were still plenty of people hanging out at Mission Beach when Sky 10 flew over it late this afternoon. Usually the Santa Ana winds increase our fire risk, but as ABC 10 News reporter Melissa Masiha explains, one factor is keeping the threat low.
It's spring, or is it summer? With the hot temperatures, some of you and your pets, I'm sure, tried to stay cool indoors, or if you headed out, the beach was the place to be. You had plenty of company. Mission Beach Wednesday afternoon was packed. In the East County, the temperature in Santee, mid-80s by early afternoon. Some kids braved the heat at Steel Canyon Park in Rancho San Diego, but Parker Gilmore knew how to stay safe.
I really like waters. I really like to keep myself hydrated, especially my great-grandma is really always on to me about drinking water.
We caught Parker catching a breath with his family and friends.
Taking advantage of the shade time. It's a beautiful day, and at least there's a breeze.
A little more than a breeze in some parts of the county. Those Santa Ana winds help to increase our temperatures.
Well, the heat can happen any time of the year. The Santa Anas, the season is starting to wind down a little bit. We usually get our most active Santa Ana months are in the fall and the winter.
These strong winds not unheard of around this time. Mark Mady with the National Weather Service confirmed the last Santa Ana event during this time of year in March was back in 2019. When we hear Santa Ana's, fire danger usually isn't far behind. But there's no red flag warning this time. Part of that reason, the recent rain.
It was a marginal call. The winds were going to be strong for a period of time this morning and into early afternoon. The fuel moistures are low, but not critically low. And I think that was the main reason why.
But remember, in Southern California, our fire season is year-round, even though the Santa Ana should be wrapping up soon. With the heat wave not quite over, Parker knew what he was going to do.
I'm glad I get to go back in my pool.
Melissa Masiha, ABC 10 News.
Sweet smile. Let's check in now with Jennifer De La Cruz with a look at the records we set today. Jen?
Yeah, very warm throughout the county. We broke records in Chula Vista, San Diego, and in Vista, and we could break some more for tomorrow. It's going to be another warm day, but overall, it was gorgeous. We've been showing you lots of sky cams along the coast, and I wanted to check out Alpine right now. No clouds in sight. Really nice conditions, as you can see the sun going down there. We do still have Santa Ana winds with us, but not as gusty as they were earlier today. Those wind advisories have expired. Right now, still gusting in Julian and Alpine upwards of 20 miles per hour. So it's still going to be warm for tomorrow as well with breezy conditions. We are way warmer than where we were at this time yesterday by nearly 20 degrees. So you may have noticed a little bit toasty out there for today. It is still 80 degrees in Fallbrook, 82 for El Cajon, and 80s for much of the county right now. I'm tracking when we're finally going to start cooling down a bit coming up in your 70 forecast.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you, Jen. We are continuing to follow breaking news out of Compton, where this pallet yard is on fire. These are live pictures right now over the area. There have been evacuations in this area. Some nearby homes were seen burning. No reports yet of any injuries, and this reportedly started as a tree fire that spread.
More young migrants arrived today at the convention center, which has been turned into a temporary shelter. Sky 10 flew over a plane this afternoon at Lindbergh Field. It's believed to be carrying more of those unaccompanied girls seeking asylum. More than 700 have already arrived. Dozens also tested positive for COVID before and after arriving here in San Diego. They have been separated from the others and they are being monitored. We're told that none of those cases so far is considered serious and no staffers have tested positive. And it appears that San Diego city leaders will try to expand the convention center even though it failed at the polls last year. Our ABC 10 News reporter John Horn explains why the city could soon argue that Measure C actually passed.
Mayor Todd Gloria says it's the city's duty to implement the will of the voters and enact Measure C, which got 65.2% support in the March 2020 primary. The problem, at the time, it needed 66.7% to pass. Downtown hotelier Chuck Abbott says the city should still give it the green light.
Anything that would bring more business to the city and give us the opportunity to increase even having larger conventions or multiple citywides at the same time is beneficial for any of our hotels downtown.
Measure C could raise up to $6.8 billion to expand the convention center, homeless services, and road repair. The city appearing emboldened after 3 recent court decisions that indicated that citizens' initiatives like Measure C, which reached the ballot via signature drives, only needed a simple majority, not a 2/3 majority. On Tuesday, the city council could vote to say that yes, the measure did pass after all, though it would wait for its own court decision before raising the tax or taking on any debt. Opponents, however, are lining up with potential legal action.
This is a question of voter manipulation, San Diego style, right? It looks different than Georgia, but it is still a manipulation of the voters to get a particular outcome and ignore the decision of voters.
The measure would increase the tourist tax up to 3.25%, depending on a hotel's proximity to the convention center. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
The mayor said any discussion about taking on additional debt or issuing bonds was premature. The next scheduled event at the convention center is in August.
San Diegans appear split right now on whether to recall Governor Gavin Newsom. In our scientific ABC 10 News Union Tribune poll, 40% of San Diegans say they would vote to recall Newsom if it makes the ballot. 35% would not, 25% were not sure. Recent statewide polls have found a majority of voters oppose removing Newsom from office. The state is still checking to make sure that at least 1.5 of the 2 million signatures turned in by the recall supporters are valid.
From being one of San Diego's most prominent businesswomen to prison, we spotted restaurant mogul Gina Kane walking into the courthouse today. That was just before a judge sentenced her to 15 years in prison for running the biggest Ponzi scheme in San Diego's history. Kane rose to prominence with her popular restaurants known as the Patio, but prosecutors say that she also raised $350 million supposedly for a business opportunity.
Ms. Kane did not use the money to finance liquor license transactions as she told investors. Rather, she used tens of millions of dollars to line her own pockets and to support her failing patio restaurants and other retail businesses.
Prosecutors say her sentence could be reduced if she continues to give information on co-conspirators.
Detectives have determined what caused Tiger Wood to crash his SUV last month, but the information won't be released because of unspecified privacy concerns. Wood suffered serious leg injuries in the February 23rd crash. LA Sheriff says investigators do know what caused the accident, but he says they need Wood's permission to release it.